Radio Style. Hope everybody out there is enjoying themselves as always. I think it's kind of an important thing, right? That we make sure we try to enjoy ourselves every day. Happiness is a wonderful feeling. All right, so that was Imagine Dragons, hence the name of the show, Imagine, or I think it's going to be called that anyway because I haven't titled it yet, technically, sort of recording, right? But yeah, Imagine Dragons is the band. I chose them because the word Imagine's in it, because I tried, like, Imagine, the song by John Lennon. Not a really upbeat song. Really, it's not. So it didn't really seem to fit too well for me. And It's Time, which is kind of this is the name of the song. It's a very cool title, but then I'm never changing who I am. Not quite what I'm going for in the show. So whatever. I picked a song I kind of dig, and it's not 100% perfect, but pretty darn close. Anyway, anywho, Dan Radio Style, please contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. And let's see, Dan Radio Style is a channel. I think that's all the business. Did the music. Cool. All right, so I'm doing a quick one for you guys. Imagine is a very, very, very powerful word, but more importantly, it's a very powerful action. And I came across a little something in my, I say studies probably, that just was a really awesome exercise. And it was brought up by someone that I think everybody's familiar with that's really good at all this self-help type stuff, Anthony Robbins. Or Tony Robbins. I'm not even sure what the hell he's going by anymore, frankly. I don't even know, right? The guy stopped calling me a while ago, so I'm like, all right, I don't know what to call you, whatever, tough guy. Anyway, but imagine is a very, very powerful, profound thing. Of course, when you're imagining, you're using your thinking manifestation skills, if you will, to their fullest. You're actually envisioning, and that's really the most powerful way of creating something, right? And I've talked about the beach ball thing. And it's funny as I keep talking about the beach ball thing lately, and I keep freaking seeing beach balls everywhere. They're all over the bloody place now. But again, if you imagine holding a beach ball, imagine seeing it, imagine that smell, imagine the colors, the yellow, the red, the blue, and the white, maybe? Anyway, it's like the normal one, right? It's the beach ball that everyone sees. But imagine it being in your hands, imagine holding it, imagine seeing it, imagine all these things, and then you kind of just let it go, and then a beach ball shows up in your life, a day later, next day, 2 days, 5 days, a week later, who knows? It shows up, though, and then you're like, oh my God, there's my beach ball. It is very, very cool. So imagining is, again, an extremely profound thing, and as we've been talking about, I think, lately, is really trying to push ourselves into maybe more of a career mindset, or you can do this with relationships, you can do this with certainly trying to make money. All these things, they all kind of tie together anyway. It's all the same general concept. It's just what do you want to focus on? What are you trying to make happen in your life? So in this case, we're going to kind of focus more on career / job / making more money, right? And a lot of people have, what do I do? What should I do? How can I get into a different line of work? How can I become more of an entrepreneur? How can I follow my passions and my dreams? And what Tony Robbins really did, I mean, I think this is beautiful. So here's the whole thing, right? As I try to expand this out as long as possible. But essentially, if you had $1 billion, right? If you had $1 billion in your bank, what would your day look like? And I don't mean like I'd give a million of it off to charity. I'd buy everyone in my family a house. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, you're independently rich. You're wealthy beyond words. You never have to worry about money again. What do? Right? I mean, are you one of these people, I'd go golfing every day? All right, cool. Every day, that sounds fantastic. After about, 6 weeks, maybe tops, you're going to be sick of that, right? So what about, I'd sleep in late every day? Okay, you're going to get tired of that too. Seriously, this is the thought, though. What would you do? What do you enjoy doing? What would you fill your days with? Would you volunteer someplace? What kind of volunteer work would you do? Where would you be at? Who would you be helping? Who would you be volunteering with? Would you be doing something like in my case? I'd probably still be doing YouTube stuff, or I'd actually probably go back into radio as a broadcaster because I wouldn't have to worry about money and I could just have some sort of overnight gig and just be stoked, because the money wouldn't matter. But of course, I would still try to keep like the voiceover and all these other things because I love doing it. I actually love doing this stuff. Probably would keep the coffee shop job because that's a lot of fun for me. I enjoy doing that. What are things you like doing? So once you kind of are able to answer that question, these are the directions that we really need to look at for our lives, for what kind of jobs we can do. Let's try to get ourselves into those areas. And when you're doing something that you love doing, money will follow. It does. Or you'll meet people that, say you're volunteering at a soup kitchen, to use a great example. I think it's a great example. I'm self-proclaiming this as a great example. But if you're, volunteering at a soup kitchen, you might meet somebody at some point that then allows you to get tied into a group that's opening up a few of these, right? You're opening up soup kitchens all over the place. You're somehow managing to get an income from it because there's volunteers and donations, right? And they're helping pay a salary because you're managing all this stuff, right? You somehow have found a way to do that. It's a great example of, where you could actually end up making money doing something you love doing. So I want a lot of people to spend some time, 5-10 minutes, whatever. Spend a little time thinking about what it is that I love doing. What do I love to do? And then let's try to figure out how we can bring a little bit more of that into our lives, right? You may have a 9-to-5 job right now. You got bills to pay. So I'm not saying quit your job and start, being a DJ, or I don't know, a soup kitchen person and volunteering. And, no, that's not how you're going to do this. But maybe on a Saturday, every other Saturday, one Saturday a month, start making steps towards that thing you love doing. It's amazing the doors that start to open when we start to pursue our life's work, especially when it's kind of on a soul level. When you're doing something that's truly profound from your heart and your soul, and it resonates with you, and you feel that vibe. There's an enormous amount of power. And when you're working with the universe/God, when you're doing what you're here to do, it is truly amazing how taken care of we end up being. Your bills will be covered. Your family will be taken care of because you're going to find that right approach. Life, universe, God is going to provide that path. And that's all you're doing. You're paying attention for it. You put the feelers out. You think about it. You spend the time doing it. And then when the opportunity comes up or when you can see a little way you can do some action, do the action and start to see what happens. It's truly profound. Start with something small. That's all I'm trying to say, because you'll prove it to yourself. I can't prove anything to you, but you will prove it to yourself. You like how my voice just cracked? I swear one of these days I will finish going through puberty. It's going to happen. I'm way too old for voice cracking. I love it. So that's it, Dan Radio Style. I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of imagine how you can do it, how you can make your lives a much more exciting place, a little bit more of a little happiness, a little health, a little wealth, a little love in your life. To borrow something from this guy named Ty Lopez, who is pretty cool, and I've been kind of doing his little thing lately too. So a lot of good stuff going on. Keep flowing with it. Stay connected. Imagine what you'd like, and it's amazing the possibilities that open up before you. So again, Dan Radio Style, please contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll get everything kind of moving along in our lives. All right, we'll be doing something soon. Hang in there, and thank you guys for joining me.